The movie starts with a bat entering an old house. It suddenly transforms into a Dracula and moves toward the child in the room. It seems that he is preparing to kill the baby. We learn after a while because the mother of this baby is not alive. Additionally, Dracula looks after his daughter and their bond was wonderful, even though her dad changed her nappies. Later we see him teaching his daughter how to transform into a bat. Eventually, after practicing, she becomes successful. Later we discover that when a man visits Dracula, that Dracula is creating a hotel in honor of his daughter's birthday. As he hates humans a lot, while making the hotel he is quite conscious that no humans should be allowed inside the hotel. So she will never love human and hate humans like him for her whole life. But despite all, Mavis wanted to see the whole world. After many years, and the Dracula hotel we see under construction is now ready on Mavis' birthday. Meanwhile, Dracula has invited all the monsters around the globe. On her birthday, Mavis tells her father, "You have promised me that you will tour me in the outer world and you will have to fulfill your promise." Dracula responds, "Okay, you may travel to the world of humans, but only under the condition that you will soon return, because there are many guests in the house. It won't be appropriate if you arrive home too late." When Mavis hears this, she gets joyful and flies into a nearby village. Her pursuers included Dracula, but she is unaware of this. She arrives there and at first no one was there, but she makes a call to everyone later. When people arrive, the news that Dracula has arrived separates, and everyone arrives by using fire to drive her away. Rather, I am a good Dracula, and a man's head breaks and falls in the meantime. Dracula appears in the meantime and places his head before his daughter can see. Later we learn that none of these are humans, all of them are monsters. Sending Mavis here was actually a plan of Dracula, so he becomes afraid to see these fake humans and begins to hate them just like him. After Dracula instructs all monsters to avoid humans. Meanwhile, a human comes into his hotel and he becomes upset and tries to send him away, because if any monster sees a human in his hotel, they will lose their trust from Dracula, their leader. Later when Dracula questions him about how he got here, he responds, "I have seen a few burning humans arrive here and I come here after following them." Actually, it was Dracula's fault. He was even told that there should not be any firing nearby the hotel so humans can witness this place, and in order to scare his daughter burnt his servants. When the boy first saw them, they were on their way back. Dracula does not have enough time to consider this story. Many monsters are about to arrive at the hotel with this fear that anyone could see a human. He wants to hide these humans from his daughter and the monsters, and he leads him into a room filled with clothing. John views all of these outfits as costumes, since John comes from the city, and after hearing him out, Dracula gets an idea. He thinks to transform him into a monster. Then he drags John out. He thinks there is a Halloween party there when he gets there, a party where humans appear as monsters to have party. He thus places his hand inside a skeleton, and the skeleton made monster begin to chase him. Later John also realized that this is a ghost hotel. He was escaping the monsters while seeing this all happen. He suddenly leans forward while sitting atop a flying broom and comes to Mavis, Dracula's daughter. They see each other, as Dracula does not want this, so he takes John from there. Later John was feeling afraid of Dracula. He is told not to approach me because there is no need to drink my blood. I will go before you remove me from here. When Dracula hears this, he exclaims, "Come on John, this is not old age. I am also not the typical Dracula who drank human blood. I am very modern and I am aware that human blood contains a lot of fats, so I do not consume human blood." John feels comfortable to hear this. Meanwhile, Dracula begins to take him out from the other side. Once more, Mavis recognizes them. Here is the from a bat. For this reason, Dracula has to bring that boy back to his house. When Dracula's daughter asks about John, Dracula has to tell a lie. He tells her that John is a ghost and he comes here to make her birthday amazing. As his work has been done, he is returning. After Mavis' departure, they go from the other way. On the way, they meet many monsters. They were preparing for the dance practice of the party. They all see the boy with Dracula. Later, they ask Dracula who is he. On this question, John tells them that I am a ghost, Frankenstein. But Mavis says no, you cannot be that, because there is only one Frankenstein who is standing before us. After hearing this, John has to cover his lie. So he says, I am John Stein, his cousin. Later they keep him with them for the dance practice. They all were singing a boring song. Later, after pushing them back, John singing a song. He tells them how a party is celebrated. They also enjoy listening to his song, so they ask him to stay with them till Mavis' birthday. Now Dracula cannot do anything. He teaches them to play with his Sakuti and also how to have a pool party. During this, Mavis, a mouse of Dracula's chef, smelled a human in the party. When Dracula learns about this, he again tries to send him back. He finally takes him out this time. Before sending him out, he wants to erase his old memories. That has the memories of the ghost and this hotel. As he puts lens in his eyes, Dracula magic does not work. As John puts off the lenses, Dracula becomes afraid. He was going from there, and while going, Mavis again see him. Not only she stops him, but also takes him on the roof to show him her beautiful dark world. John tells her that he has seen the whole world, as Mavis' dream has not been fulfilled, so she becomes sad to hear this. John makes her happy as the sun comes up by letting her see his world. On the other side, where all the monsters were taking bath together, little Dracula tells everyone that John has gone because he does not like us all. John was on the roof and falls into Dracula's lap. When the roof breaks, he becomes quite raged. As a punishment, he assigned him a lot of tasks. When he cannot do this, Dracula begins to settle the table after tossing them into the air. John feels good to see this, and he climbs on a table. Initially, Dracula becomes quite raged, but later he begins to play with them. Meanwhile, he begins to like John. While playing, John suddenly appears. Because John was a human and chef was making his barbecue. Meanwhile, Dracula comes while finding and saves him. He frees Dracula so he cannot tell anyone about this. Not only he has saved John, but he begins to like John, and he makes him stay with him till his daughter's birthday. Dracula and John go into a room and Dracula tells him his tale. The reason why he hates humans. Actually, Dracula and his wife used to love each other. They lived in a place and their daughter was born there. On her birthday, where humans had to congratulate them. They have done wrong and burned their place. He ran from there while taking his daughter, but he could not save his daughter. John becomes quite upset to hear this. The party begins and Mavis gets ready after wearing a wonderful dress. For her birthday party, John made this party wonderful because of him. Mavis begins to like John a lot. The chef has also arrived there. He reveals John's reality that John is not a ghost but a human being. They begin to run around after being afraid from him. They leave the party after being angry with Dracula. Mavis tells John that I like you even as a human. He becomes an evil human before everyone to save the honor of Dracula. As Dracula has informed everyone about the humans, he behaves to be like that humans and goes from there. Mavis becomes sad and goes from there. Dracula was chasing her and learns that his daughter truly loves John. For this reason, she was quite sad, and Dracula also realized his mistake, that all humans are not as evil as he thought, and told everyone. He goes to his people and apologizes and also tells them that there are also good humans. They all understand Dracula, and not only they have forgive him, they also tell him that they like Dracula as well, but it is useless now because he has gone. To find John for Mavis, all the monsters decide to go into the humans world. Humans were having Halloween party. They were having a party after taking ghost appearance, so no one can recognize the real ghost. All the monsters become happy to see that all the humans are pretty good. They like us so much that they celebrate the party after adopting our appearance. Dracula has to go to the airport to save John, but he cannot go because of the sunlight. Later, the monster reveals their truth to all humans. The Dracula appearance humans after making a shadow with their clothes. After making his way to the airport, they send him to the airport. Sadly, John's aircraft has taken off. While burning his skin in the sunlight, Dracula tries to make John understand something from the window. When John does not understand anything, after hypnotizing the pilot, Dracula tells John he has made a mistake that he wants to fix. To unite a Dracula and a humans together with each other. It means Mavis and John. After hypnotizing the pilot and landing his plane, take John to Mavis. Mavis gets a birthday present from her dad as John. He tells Mavis, if you like me, then I like you more. I have told a lie for sake of Dracula. They all start throwing a party to celebrate the reunion of John and Mavis. And the film ends with this. Stay with us, stay connected, and thanks for watching.